Hello, ladies and gentlemen. You won't believe it. The government has just announced a set of cooling measures that come out and also announced concurrently some policies that increase the affordability of resale flats for first-time buyers. So it's a very interesting time. They just announced it about 12 o'clock or so. And me and Dragon Tan in our busy schedule, has started this video recording at 1:45 a.m. Okay, to share with you. Thanks, Dragon Tan, for coming in at this last minute notice to give everybody an analysis.
Hey, hi, everybody. Wish everybody what. Right now it's 1:40, 1:45 a.m. Mr. Loo and I am still talking about the government measures. How would it impact the HDB first-time home buyer? All right. So, Sifu, what is the exact question that you would like me or probably to share my opinion?
Okay, first of all, let's talk about the easier one first. Okay, the government has lowered the loan to value ratio, LTV, from 80% to 75%. On the headline, a lot of people don't know what the hell is LTV. Okay, maybe you can briefly describe what LTV is and then share with us what's the impact of the lowering of the percentages on the demand and the prices of HDB resale flats.
Okay, the LTV, right? LTV it stands for loan to valuation. It means that if the valuation is 1 million, you can, or the HDB buyer can actually so-called secure a HDB loan up to the 75%, that is 750K. So this is the meaning for LTV, loan to valuation. If anybody who has tracked the government policy before, it used to be 90%. So eventually there's a measure coming from HDB and MND side. It become from 90% become 85. Eventually it was revised down some time ago to from 85 to 80%. And right now I think it's quite expected from 80% to 75%.
So
So
it should
this
be
is how the government introduced
So it should be
step by step.
quite jialat, right? It should be quite jialat, right? The whole property HDB resale flat is going to crash. Is it true?
Won't crash like Sifu. I think that the overall the sentiment is still quite positive. The demand for the HDB resale flat is still very healthy. I don't think it will crash. So far based on the ground sentiment that I've experienced from the ground, the HDB is still moving very healthy. In some area it's still very fast. Let's not forget, a few months ago we recorded a video at Kovan. We talked about the 15-month time bar. The private property owner are coming into the market effectively from January this year. So I don't think the LTV will affect those private property owner
They're full of
who are
cash, right?
downgrading.
They're full of cash,
Uh,
right?
this LTV is not going to have impact on them. I think Bolasa lah, Bolasa. For them, they
I'm low
will
to
love,
IC.
they'll
The
just
more
love
cash
to
they have.
fully pay houses. Correct. So I thought that this measure will have an impact on the private property downgraded. Well, from landed, maybe they sell their landed for 5 mil to 10 mil. I think that they are still able to afford 1.73 million HDB to 2 million HDB full cash as well. Yes, this is my own personal opinion. This measure probably will affect people who are probably are not in the higher tier, probably they're in the lower tier. But then again, the HDB is has another set of policy that help the lower income, or the first time home buyer with additional housing grant. We call it the
Okay.
EHG,
Yeah,
enhanced housing grant.
we'll come to that in a short while. So,
Sure,
in
no
your
problem.
experience on the ground, this how many people actually stretch out their loan all the way to 80% in the past? And who are these type of people? Because these are people that will be hit by this policy.
Okay, typically people who are eligible for the HDB loan, first of all, they have to be eligible for the HDB loan, and they have to be at least a Singaporean, so to be entitled for the HDB loan, because HDB loan, the interest is considered a concessionary, the interest rate at 2.6%. All right, so each household or each Singaporean is only entitled to two HDB loan in their lifetime at concessionary rate at 2.6%. So unless they're going for bank loan, so if let's say they're going for bank loan, typically the loan is at 75%. So over here, this measure, I don't want to comment much about how this measure will impact. To me, I feel that the impact on the majority of the population is quite insignificant. I feel that, yeah, I may be wrong, but I don't think it will impact because these days there are also quite a number of buyers who go for bank loan, and the bank loan LTV is 75%. So right now it's from 80 to 75%. So there's no different that you're taking a bank loan as well to buy a HDB.
Okay, it's probably in the high interest environment that people take more HDB
Yes,
loan. But the interest rate is falling, right? Jerome Powell is going to reduce the interest rate, and then
correct.
globally everybody's going to reduce. I don't think there's going to be much impact. So your gut feel is probably the same as mine. That sorry, the other way of my gut view is probably the same as yours. I don't think this policy will have much of an impact. It's more probably a signaling that the government is probably doing something. It will affect a small group of buyers, and but I think it will not cool down much of the HDB resale demand.
I doubt so. But Sibu, to add on, I won't rule out probably months down the road, probably there'll be another measure coming because government is always monitoring the HDB market as well as the property market in terms of private property quarter by quarter. So I think that right now we are in August, 2 quarters, with Q2, the price index of Q2 is out. Probably the next quarter, if the price of the HDB is still going beyond control, I won't rule out probably 2 months, 3 months down the road to be another measure coming. But it
But
could be another measure because this measure come within my expectation. In fact, I've been talking about the measures to all my fellow colleagues and to my fellow teammate in Dragon Division that I won't rule out that the HDB or the MND will introduce a measure where the LTV will be reduced to 75%. It's actually within my expectation. So I wouldn't really get alarmed tonight unless the HDB go for or the MND go for a very harsh measure where since they have introduced a 10 years MOP on the pilot test like the prime HDB and the plus HDB, why not the policymaker in MND and HDB introduce a 10 years MOP across the board applicable to the resale HDB market as well? Probably this will be a cooling measure, a very effective cooling measure because
okay.
people who want to buy for HDB, it's not only about 5 years MOP. This time around, it's 10 years MOP. Wow, I think people will think very long before they commit a house. Very, very serious.
Yes, but from what I read of the government, I don't think they want to do something drastic to the HDB
Yes.
retail market. And from this, and pardon me, I hope the policymakers don't get offended. I think this is a very Mickey Mouse measure to try to cool it. I almost think that it has almost negligible or no effect on the government HDB resale flat. So. This is my humble opinion, and I'm not a property expert, but maybe you can ask the our YouTube fans and 165 community and ask them
Yes.
whether you all agree with me and Dragon Tan or not. Okay, and at this
And I
juncture,
think so, we did something similar regarding the HDB. There was once where the HDB lowered their LTV before. I think from 85 to 80. We did a video as well. Back then, I was commenting, or probably we were sharing that probably the measure is not that harsh. So this time around, I think that this measure is still look quite friendly to me. It's not the harsh knee-jerk type. So I think that what government are introducing, that of course they're implementing measure, just like the during the COVID period, the circuit breaker, everything is step by step. So I guess that this time around, everything is step by step as well. Our government did it in a very systematic way. Just introduce first and observe it for the next probably 1 quarter. If it's not doing well, they may do something about it again.
I think it's not in the interest of the government, and it's not interest of Singaporeans to see their HDB flat value crash, down significantly. So I think it's just, an overheated market. They sprinkle some water to try to attempt to cool it, right? And it's still my humble opinion that there's going to be no impact of
Actually,
it.
you're correct, Sifu, because the HDB prices, right, will affect the immediate surrounding condo and the resale EC prices as well. Because this will probably be the category of upgrader who's going to upgrade to the private condo around the area as well. So I think that it's in everybody's interest that the price maintain or gradually increase so that everybody benefit from their wealth building journey.
Yeah. Okay. So it's probably a nice time to now switch to the surprising second policy that was announced by the government. The government has announced an increase to the to enhance grant, okay, housing grant to help first-timers buy HDB resale flats, okay? And this comes to me as a surprise because the quantum on this one is very significant. And this is something that maybe you want to talk a little bit about it, what the new policy is, and more importantly, what's your opinion on the impact of this policy?
Okay, I think the policymaker, they're very nice. At the same time, they try to introduce policy to reduce the LTV, to cool the HDB market, which we think that is still quite friendly. It's not a hush-hush type. Um, they take care of the lower income family as well. So for the lower income family, they have this additional grant called the ESG, or Enhanced CPF Housing Grant, where previously it was up to 80,000 maximum. So right now they actually increased by a further 40,000, where they can get up to 120,000. For the lower income family, probably they will benefit from it. And according to statistic last year, correct me if I'm not wrong, the average household income for the last 10% tier probably is around 2,003. The higher tier is around 31, 32,000. So the top 10% is 31, 32,000. I mean, average monthly household income for the upper tier, the top 10%, 31, 32,000 versus the bottom 10%, okay, who are probably household income is 2003. I think there's a vast difference. So the policymaker really take care of this so-called lower household income category group of family by introducing them a higher so-called ESG grant. So with that, the total grant for the resale flat, they are able to entitle up to 230,000. Previously was 190,000.
That's insane, 230,000, That's a lot of
Very expensive, yes.
that's a lot of money. So first time now, when we say low income, may not necessarily low income for they may not be poor. It could be just some newly
Undergrad.
undergraduate coming together, maybe like my children, pak tor and now decide to get married together with their boy girlfriends and things like
Right.
that, and then get married. They have high income potential, but they just now students they will get. Let's say hypothetically, one of my children and let's say my son Ben gets married with his girlfriend, while still in school, right? They'll be entitled to 230,000, right?
Okay, so of course the HDB will assess case-to-case basis. So typically you'll be involved where probably one of the partner is working part-time or probably has already started working, and then the other one is probably is in the uni. And then government these days they are very pro. They can actually so-called apply for HDB BTO, while they are still studying. I think we're very pro into pro family policy. So I think that this category of group of so-called starters or first timer, they're in a very good position to apply for this additional grant, whatever. Correct.
Yeah.
So I think that it will benefit people, but of course, come to think of it, because they just graduated, they may not have enough CPF housing saving. In terms of cash saving, they may not have enough as well. And right now, the down payment is 25%. So of course, this grant will be able to help them to offset the 25% down payment. But if let's say they want to buy something like a bigger house, like 5 room, probably right now 5 room flat is 7 to 900,000, depending on estate. Some are even 1/over mil. This will be a big issue for them, because number one, the loan is going to be the 75%, which is very minimal, because probably one is working, one is not working, and one just started work. And then in terms of cash saving, that's not enough. So probably they are looking only for probably 3 room to 4 room flat.
I
And then
see.
they may need help. Unless they have, they are very lucky to have parents like Mr. Loo and Mrs. Loo. Then wholesale. So PAP program is very important.
Yeah. But the truth is that many parents do help their children in their house purchase. Even myself, when I was, I don't know, 30 years old, when I first bought my flat, my parents would help me a bit, right? So it's not unexpected that this can happen. But anyway, I think the more important thing is that, clearly, while the LTV lowering, we think our initial assessment is going to be very insignificant. But this one, the huge increase in grant, I think, in my humble assessment, I think there'll be an impact to HDB demand. What do you think?
I think that the demand for 3 room and 4 room, you benefit the seller, probably for the 3 room flat, 2 room flat, and 4 room flat, because with the additional grant, definitely to me this is stimulus. So likelihood we will see that with this additional so-called grant from the government, it will help to the don't quote me now, but I think that you help to support the prices for 2 room flat, 3 room flat,
I
and then you
think
will help this seller to exit to upgrade to bigger houses as well.
I think it will cause prices go up and cancel some of the impact that we
I think end day right. I think end day right. I don't know like end day maybe LPPL lah.
I I
LPPL.
I do think so, and that the increase in the grant will eventually flow into higher prices for the seller.
Correct.
And I think this is something, that we need to be more cognizant of. Um, but 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 I think that this increase in grant is going to be have a significant impact on the lower tier flats. Would you agree with me?
Yes. I think that the 2 room, 3 room, and 4 room owner seller will likely benefit from this grant itself. Likewise, the buyer is going to benefit from it. No doubt the LTV is reduced, but they have this additional grant that help to make up for the shortfall or the reduction in the 5% LTV. So till now, nobody know what will happen, but to me, I feel that is LPPL. Uh, I won't rule out there'll be another one more measure coming. Of course, government. I believe that the government is monitoring. As what you are saying, Sifu, it's a signal. So I give you a pre-warning first. But if things still don't do well in my favor to keep the prices affordable, but which MND mentioned that in fact HDB is affordable. It's still affordable to the Singaporean. 8 out of 10 household, in fact, they are like utilizing around 25% of their monthly household income to pay for their so-called money installment
Yeah.
back in 2023. So I think that it's still affordable
Yeah.
because the HDB loan is capped at MSR, 30% of your household income.
Yeah.
So unless you have a lavish lifestyle, you overspend, you're in debt. Or likewise, I think that overall, what our PM Wong, okay, PM Wong, Mr. Lawrence Wong, I think that is still affordable. It's just that, of course, right now the quantum is higher. But of course, they do consider and, they do consider how to help the lower income family, which I think this is a kind gesture by the government itself. Don't get me wrong, I'm not here to pour anybody, but this is how I feel. At the same time, government trying to slow, trying to curb, but they're trying to help the lower income.
I see. Okay. So I think to sum up, it's very late for both of us, I think the policy that has just been announced on the cooling side of things, I think is probably an agreement between you and me that is going to have little impact. On the other hand, the increase in the housing grant, okay, is probably going to have a significant impact on the lower tier flats on the resale market. That's I think the general. That's I think our agreement, right?
Yes, Sifu, you're right.
Okay, all right, good. Okay, so what do you all think, ladies and gentlemen? What do you all think, right? This is from me. I'm just a economist watching the things on the side. I invited Dragon Tan in, who is a practitioner on the ground, right? He experienced this on a daily basis. So I think our pulse are kind of triangulating at the same place. And by the way, this is also an opportune time. You all need any real estate services, please go look for Dragon Tan. Okay, one of the best real estate agent that we can get. He now has a huge team of people helping him as well. Okay, he runs a big agency. So go look for him. Don't look for me. Yeah, I don't run an agency. I am not. I don't have a real estate agent license as well. Okay, go look for him. I'll put his number somewhere around. Okay. But no, thank you, and please let me know your comments, guys. Okay, about this thing. And we should watch and see in the months to come. Whether our prediction comes true. Right. Okay. So any last words? No, Dragon.
I wish everybody what okay. Mr. Loo is very passionate. The moment immediately he received this news, he asked me to go on Zoom with him. I can feel you're passionate to share. You're passionate to share your knowledge and to train probably the financial literacy to as many to your fellow community or your follower, yeah, as much as possible. I think that 你的精神可嘉. In the middle of the night right now it's 2 a.m. 师傅.
All right.
Wow,
Okay.
kudos to you.
Okay. By the way, I'm in Seoul right now in Korea. It's 3 a.m. Okay. So thank you. Okay. Thank you. Thanks, Dragon, for coming in at such
No
an
problem.
interesting time.
Everybody, what? Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys.